Okay, how we doing this morning? I'm going to do a video here. I'm going to try something a little bit different. I'm going to do it, I've got my camera set up, as you can see, from the tires point of view. We're going to try to give this a try and see how it works out. This is going to be the DH hopper with, we're going to start off with some tan foam. And what I've done is kind of burned the end of it to give it a different little look here. So we're going to tie this in, and that looks like about good there. And then we're going to run the thread up here. And the hook I'm using, I'm doing something a little different with the hooks on this pattern. I'm using this is a size 10 dry fly. This pretty much represents about a size 14. This pattern, I have a buddy in Breckenridge that I tied tons of these for, and we're using majority of these in a size 14 up in South Park, and they just tear it up. Alright, so the next thing I'm tying in is a piece of a loosened chenille in what we call a sand, and it's called their micro. And then now I'm going to take a piece of grizzly saddle hackle. We're going to tie that in. Now what I'm going to do is kind of cover all that up, bring this there. Now I'm going to tie in the overbody. What the overbody consists of is a piece of 2 mil foam with a piece of 1/2 mil orange glued to it. One of the things I like to do, and it just helps durability on this pattern, is right on the top of this put a drop of super glue. And now we're going to take and set that so it overhangs it a little bit. And then I'm going to take 1 wrap, 2 wraps, about 3 wraps, and make sure that's all tied in good. Now I'm going to run the thread back up here to the front. Now I'm going to take the loosened chenille, and we're going to wrap that through the first tie-in point, and I'm going to lift it up, and we're going to wrap this forward. Okay, so let's tie that off about to the 3/4 point is a good stopping point on this one. So now we're going to take the saddle hackle, and we're going to, this is a piece of grizzly, I'm going to spiral that through. Now don't worry about the length of this, because we're going to come in and we're going to trim those saddle hackles down. So we're going to trim that off. So now I'm going to pull down the overbody here, and we're going to couple good tight wraps. Get that in place and clip that off. So now we're going to take just a couple strands of a rainbow crystal flash, and I'm going to tie that in at the half. We're going to pull that back, come in and trim it just past the back of the body. Next is we're going to do the wing. Don't worry about that sticking up like that. It's going to be fine once we get everything done. So I've cleaned and stacked. I've cleaned and stacked a piece of elk hair for the wing. Okay, so not a lot, but there. So we got a cleaned and stacked piece of elk hair. So now I'm going to measure it just right to the bend of the body. And then I'm going to take and just a couple tight wraps here and get it. Okay, good. I like the length of that. And now we got that tied in. Okay, now we're going to take another piece. We're going to take another piece of 2 mil brown foam, and we're going to tie that in. We're going to kind of tie it in facing out over the eye of the hook. And be careful when you do this, because you don't, it's really easy to cut this foam with your thread if you go in too hard and too fast. Okay, that looks good. Alright, so now we're going to take a little bit of dubbing, and I'm just using like anything dark tan, a little sparkle in it, and I'm actually using a little bit of the Sanyo's laser dub in a dark tan for this thorax. Okay, so now what we want to do is when we want to start the dubbing up here in the front, and I want to build this little thorax region up, so it's going to probably take a couple runs of dubbing here. There we go. So I've run that back to the point right in front of the wing. So now we're going to take our rubber legs, which are a centipede in a brown and black, tie those in right in front of the wing. So now I'm going to take this piece of foam here, and we're going to tie that in nice and tight, and then we're going to grab the whip finish we're going to whip through this about a 3-turn whip finish. Okay, got that nice and tight. Gonna get the thread out of the way. Now I'm going to come in we're going to clip that like that. I want to clip that to a little point. And we're going to take our rubber legs here and here, and then I'm going to take the fly out of the vise, and we're going to come in here, grab all my stuff out of the way. Try to do this without clipping the rubber legs off. Do one final adjustment, and then I'm going to take a drop of head cement, come in here on each side right at the legs, and put the And there we have it. One DH hopper.